Good morning and welcome. We are here today to give out the big cash. So my name is Steve Holly. I'll be directing traffic. We've got a few things to get to, and then we will get to the big donation. So on behalf of everybody with the Guns N' Hoses team, we'd like to thank you for all being here. Media folks, we couldn't do it without you. We definitely appreciate your presence and what you do for us. But I've got a little challenge for you. This is huge in St. Louis. Any chance about getting a little national coverage for this? Because this is what St. Louis is all about, giving back to the community. So if there's any way you can spread the love nationally, we would definitely appreciate that. We've got a lot of people here today, but we've got a few folks that can't be with us, so I'd like to recognize them. Colonel Caruso has been a part of Guns N' Hoses for many, many years. He's going through a little medical situation now, so please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. He does promise to be back and take care of security for us this year, so again, please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Retired Officer Mark O'Brien, you might know him better as The Voice. He's also going through a medical procedure today. Keep him in your thoughts and prayers, and he will be back to do the intro at the 2018 Guns N' Hoses. And another one of our team members, Dave Lotus, is going through some tough times also. You'll recognize him, the guy with the Kroger cap around the ring keeping law and order. So please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Okay, we've got a lot of good stuff to get to. This thing started way back in 1987. Two of the founding fathers, Merle Taylor, Jerry Clinton. Those guys could command a room with their voice. There's two sayings that they had that were appropriate then and are appropriate now. Merle used to always say, hey, let's get our story out on the streets. Well, we've done that again through the help of the media and through the help of all of you folks. So the story is out on the streets about Guns N' Hoses. And Jerry Clinton always said, don't forget where you came from. And we haven't. The first year we lost money. Jerry called us together and said, hey, I'll go ahead and foot the bill, make a donation, but after this you're on your own. So for 31 years we've made money. The first year we didn't. He put the hammer down, said, let's make money, so we've been making money ever since. In order to have a great event, you've got to have a great partner. And our great partner here is this facility. We'd like to thank Chris Zimmerman and his team for everything they do for us, because without them, we couldn't have the great event that we have. Chris, stand up and take a bow. Thank you very much. We made a big change this year, and it was pretty seamless. I'm not sure the audience recognized it, but we went from an amateur event to a professional event. People say, why'd you do that? We did it for one reason and one reason only, money. Our goal is to raise the most funds to donate to the Backstoppers. We couldn't have done that without the Missouri State Office of Athletics and their director, their executive director. So please give a nice hand to Tim Lukenhoff, who took care of all of that for us. We also developed a new partner that had to work hand in hand with Tim, all of our athletes, and all of our coaches, and that is our new partner at SSM. Guys, are you out there somewhere, the folks from SSM? Thank you very much for your help. Okay, I'd like to introduce some of our board of directors and some VIPs, and then we'll get to it. So, starting from left to right, we have a new position that we've created on the board, and we have a chief medical advisor, and that's going to be Dr. Scott Gilmore. Scott, thanks for joining us. You all know Colonel O'Toole. He fought in Guns N' Hoses when he was a patrolman. He's now a colonel, still involved. Colonel, thank you very much. Chief Olschwanger, president of the St. Louis Fire Chiefs Association. Couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you, Chief. Pat Dolan, my close friend of 40-plus years, now the county councilman for St. Louis 5th District. Yep. And he's been a big, big help. So, Pat, thank you very much. The title sponsor for Anheuser-Busch, or for Budweiser Guns N' Hoses, has been Anheuser-Busch. We'd like to thank Bill Bradley for being here to represent AB. Thank you, Bill. Another one of our key board of directors. You know him more for basketball than boxing, but he's been with us for a long time, Rich Gray. a new key member of our board of directors. She presents herself well, and she's a valued addition to the team, Elizabeth Snyder. This event couldn't happen without the support of our next team member. He drives the bus for labor in St. Louis in the metro area, Pat White. Labor is a big part of what we do. Thank you, and thank you for being with us, Pat. Another new member of our board of directors, he's the guy that makes the MMA stuff happen. He's been a driving force since he joined the team a few years ago, one of my closest friends. Please welcome Jesse Finney. Okay, let's get up to the big table, then we'll get at it. Down to my left is our new Chief of Police, John Hayden. And many of you probably don't know, Chief fought in Guns N' Hoses, and he did bring home the hardware. Chief, you got a victory. I didn't want to stand up here and say he fought and lost. That wouldn't have been good. But thanks for being here, Chief. Chief Belmar is on assignment, so Colonel Cox, who is a member of our committee and been a valued team member, is representing St. Louis County. So, Colonel, thanks for joining us. A mainstay since he's been in office, sitting at ringside, providing resources for us. Please welcome County Executive Steve Stenger. Our partner, one of the original founding fathers, big hand for Hall of Famer, labor leader, Jack Martirelli. Starting at the other end, the new president of the Backstoppers, longtime supporter of Guns N' Hoses. You know him from AT&T. Please welcome John Sontag. The face of the Backstoppers and the face of the St. Louis community, a large, large hand for Colonel Ron Battelle. Another key member, a guy that's been with us long before he was chief of the fire department. Please welcome Dennis Jankerson. And we are honored to have the new mayor of the city of St. Louis, Mayor Lyda Krewson, in attendance with us today. And the guy that drives the bus for us, our leader, President, CEO of Gray Eagle, and Executive Director of St. Louis Budweiser Guns N' Hoses, David Stokes. Okay, at this time, I'd like to get Mr. Jack Martirelli up here, but I'm going to tell you a quick story before we do this. Not many people know that that very first meeting back in 1987 was brokered by Jack Martirelli. He put in the same room Police Chief Sheets, Police Chief Kleinig, Mayor Vince Schamel at the time, Jack Martirelli himself, my dad, Bo Holly, Merle Taylor, Jerry Clinton, and they had the crazy idea to have police officers and firefighters fight. So getting all them guys together and figuring out how this was going to happen was a real chore. But Jack Martirelli was the driving force behind it. He's my partner. He's my friend. He's been involved since day one. So let's have a big round of applause for Jack Martirelli.
Thank you, Steve. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming to the press conference this morning. It's truly been my honor and pleasure to be part of the Founding Fathers and part of this great organization. To say we've come a long way would be putting it mildly. What we did in 1987 till today is just blows my mind. 2017 was a very special year for Guns N' Hoses and the Backstoppers. We drew a record crowd of over 18,000 people. I remember when we had our first event. We had one sponsor, Gray Eagle Distributing, and less than 1,000 people in attendance. And we lost money, as Steve said earlier. I'm happy to say that things are a lot better now, and you will hear how better they are shortly. Our list of sponsors and the amount they donate continues to grow every year. We are very grateful for their support, and a huge thank you to our Ring of Champions sponsors for all that they do. We could never do what we do for the Backstoppers if it wasn't for their constant and continued support of our event. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jack. Appreciate those words of wisdom. So I get calls every week from around the country. Hey, we want to raise money like you guys do for Guns and Hoses. How do you do it? And I say, well, it's real simple. You get all the regional politicians involved. You get all the law enforcement officials involved. You get all the EMS folks involved. You get sponsors, you get participants, and you get a bunch of people that want to donate their time and not get paid. And they all say the same thing. We can't do that. So we say, well, if you want to be able to do it, that's how you make it happen. So our resources start with the city of St. Louis. And I'd like to introduce the mayor and have her come up and say a few words. So Mayor, if you will, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve Hawley. You certainly have the voice to promote this event, and so we appreciate all of that. I really just want to say this morning, thank you so much to Guns and Hoses. Thank you for the efforts that you make to support Backstoppers here, which of course support our police and our firemen and our families. And the wonderful work that's been done over 30 years, I guess soon to be 31 years, is nothing short of remarkable. Sometime shortly, somebody up here is going to tell you how much money was raised and has been raised. I'm not going to do that this morning. I'm going to leave that to somebody else. But let me just tell you, it is a record year and it is a record amount. And thank you for that. We appreciate what all of our police officers and firefighters do every single day for us, for our families. We appreciate all of your families and the folks who send you off to work every day to run towards danger as opposed to running away from it, which is what most of us do. So thank you to each and every one of you for that. Thank you for having me here with you this morning. It's an honor. It was an honor this year to be at Guns and Hoses, and I look forward to seeing you again. And I really look forward to this announcement pretty soon. So thank you for having me.
I can talk a little bit. All right, thank you, Mayor. We appreciate you being here with us, and we certainly appreciate you being ringside. And maybe if you're lucky, next year you get a little blood or sweat on you. All right, our next guest has been ringside many, many years with us, and he is a very, very positive influence on the community, big supporter of Guns and Hoses. Please welcome St. Louis County Executive Steve Stenger. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm proud to join you today for the presentation of what I'm told is going to be a very large check from Guns and Hoses to the Backstoppers. For more than 30 years, Guns and Hoses has been fighting the good fight for the families of fallen first responders in the bi-state region. This annual Thanksgiving Eve event has become so successful and renowned that police and fire departments, as we've heard, across the nation have attempted to duplicate it. Through your charitable work, you have made the entire region proud. In the darkest of times for the families of fallen police officers and firefighters, Backstoppers represents a ray of hope. Again, congratulations on another terrific Guns and Hoses event, and thank you for the important work you do on behalf of the brave men and women of the St. Louis area who put their lives on the line for us all every day. Thank you. I gotta look at the script. I'm not real big on following directions. Okay, so one quick comment. Jerry Clinton said this the best, again, 30 some odd years ago. He said that Guns and Hoses is the best insurance policy we hope that our first responders never have to use. Those words were true then, they're true now, and again, we hope that we never have to. We wish we weren't even here. We're an organization that wishes we didn't exist, but we do exist, and we bring it home, and we bring it home every year. And it wouldn't be possible without this next person's help. He is the face of the Backstoppers, the face of the St. Louis community. Please give a nice round of applause to Colonel Ron Battelle.
Well, welcome everybody. Glad that you all made it here this morning, and I did want to acknowledge a couple of our board of directors who are present. You met John Sondog, our president, but Dennis Jenkerson is on the board. Jack Martirelli's on the board. Chief Jim Silvernail is on the board. John Dolan and Ed Fingers are on the development board, and they're very much contributing members to the Backstoppers and what we do, and we appreciate all they do for us. But this is an amazing morning, and I stand here once again in all of the St. Louis region, Budweiser, Guns and Hoses, and the many sponsors for their incredible generosity and support for the Backstoppers in our mission. On behalf of the families we serve, the Backstoppers Board of Directors, and the Backstoppers Board of Directors, I want to express our deepest appreciation and thanks for stepping up and supporting not only our families, but all first responders who put their lives on the line every day to protect and serve us all. A special thanks to Dave Stokes, Steve Holly, Jack Martirelli, and the entire Budweiser Guns and Hoses crew, to include police, fire, and EMS participants, coaches, staff, and the many volunteers who made this year's event such a success. Our partnership has grown tremendously over the last 30 years and will continue to grow in future years. Thank you very much for all you have done for Backstoppers, and I'm looking for that check to come up here. I got bills to pay, so let's go.
All right. The Colonel told us it takes a lot of people to put this event on. It takes about 300 folks to put this thing on. Between our boxers, our coaches, our officials, our participants, all the volunteers, it takes about 300 people. Well, those 300 people have to get direction. And that direction comes from the next gentleman that I'm going to introduce you to. It all starts with the culture. And the culture for Guns and Hoses is, if you ain't getting better, you're getting worse. So he makes sure that we get better from year to year. So please welcome to the podium the director for the St. Louis Budweiser Guns and Hoses, Mr. David Stokes.
All right, thank you, Steve. And how about a big hand of applause for what I consider the heart of Guns and Hoses, Mr. Steve Holly. And really, thank you for everyone that's here today. It's great to see the community come together for such a positive event. And it's nice to offer the big check, but I think a real testament to St. Louis is us coming together for an event like this each and every year. Budweiser Guns and Hoses is really a group of passionate individuals. It's volunteers, it's sponsors, it's elected officials, and most importantly, it's the first responders that compete in the event each year. All that time, the dedication, the energy is what really makes this come together and really become the success that it's been. And really, as I look at what this group is all about, it is about raising the bar, as Steve talked about. It's something that we try and do each year, try and improve things, and really that the driving force is the cause. It is the Backstoppers. Everybody comes to those meetings, puts in the time, knowing in the heart that they're supporting the cause, and really the Backstoppers supporting those first responders and the families who lost that loved one in the line of duty. They're supporting 82 families, and it's a real challenge to continue to provide that support. They do a lot of things in terms of education and supporting those in need. So that's what really drives us as a group and really helps us put in the effort. Now today, I'm proud to announce two new milestones. Jack referenced the first one in terms of a record-setting crowd, the community coming out. We had over 18,199 attendees at Budweiser Guns and Hoses. It's a fantastic thing, and hats off to the entire community there. It's interesting that the event, I think half the people are in the vestibule socializing, waiting for their fight to come up that they want to watch, but it's a great time for the community to come together on the eve of Thanksgiving. The other is it's a record-setting donation, and that's something that, again, we're pleased to announce today, and something that we work hard each and every year to raise the bar. And so at this time, if I could have Chief Ron Battelle and President John Sonda come on up here to the stage, we'll get this donation underway. We'll do it up here, and then we'll do pictures afterwards. All right, so on behalf of Guns N' Hoses and the Budweiser Guns N' Hoses, I am pleased to introduce the check for $700,000. So last year at 652, this year popped it up, and next year we're looking to take it even higher. And so really thank you, and thank you to everybody in the community. I'm going to now turn it back to our anchor in the heart of Guns N' Hoses, Mr. Steve Holly.
Holy crap, 700,000. So on behalf of everybody here, we definitely would like to thank you for all of your efforts. We would like to ask you if you want to stick around and get your picture taken with the big check. That's on the table. And as I leave you, one thought. Please think about this sometime today, maybe when you drive away. What can you do to help Guns N' Hoses be better in 2018? We'll see you all the night before Thanksgiving. And remember, when the first bell rings, the holidays start. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. See you in a few months.